everyone, welcome back. And in this video, I'll be giving you some information on product manager responsibilities. So, these are some of the responsibilities that had been put forth by Marty Kagan, and that's what I'll be explaining in this video. So, let's get into it. So, the very first responsibility of a product manager is evaluating opportunities and deciding what gets built. So, if you see business analysts, they decide what gets built in the product backlog. So, you have a backlog or you get any requirement. Usually, business analysts not working with product owners, they collect the requirements and then they add it to the backlog. Okay, and then they decide what gets built in the backlog, whether it's in the first iteration, second, third, and so forth. So that's the responsibility of a business analyst. But when it comes to a product manager, okay, working with a product, the product manager is solely responsible for deciding what is worth going into the product backlog. So there's no client or anything, or if at all you get feedback, the product manager needs to really take this decision, needs to do a lot of analysis and put a lot of thought process into it to decide and see whether if I'm adding something, some feature or story to my backlog, is that really valuable? Is that going to be really worthwhile implementing? What is going to be my ROI of that particular feature? So all these things need to be put into thought, and then product managers need to be able to take that decision to decide what is worth going into the product backlog. So there are a couple of reasons why product managers need to make this decision, because you just can't randomly say, hey, I got this feature, this looks good, let's start building it. Because now development and engineering teams, they really want some evidence of what value is being created with what's being built. So the team puts in so much of time, effort, they build something really complex that they feel that's really going to be go big bang and it's going to be a real trend and things like that. But sometimes that doesn't happen. That's not really desirable, and it's not really desired by the customers. They feel that that's something that they don't need. And then what happens? There's a wastage of the development time and effort and cost. So now teams really want to know, we built this, show me the value. Let's see what's the value, whether it's really kicking and whether it's really, being utilized and, adopted by users, or was this a failure? So, in order to answer all these questions and to avoid scenarios of teams putting in their time and effort and cost, okay, and then the product just not hitting the market or the customers, you need to first decide and see whether really this is something that needs to be developed or not. So that's where the product manager comes into the picture. And the second most important thing is, when you look at a business, businesses are really dependent, or they are all about their customers. So customers, because customers, when they buy products, the businesses get profits. So customers, on the other hand, how do they have a link with businesses? It's via products. So they buy products, and how do they buy products? They decide on different factors. So unless that's something that's solving their business case, that's really easing their life out, they buy a product. And how does that product really shape up? It's because of what is being built. If the product's going to have really worth full features, it's going to be adopted by customers. If it's something that's really not desirable, then no one's going to adopt to it. So who decides again what goes into the product? It's the product manager. So that's the link between how the product manager contributes in the end to the business. So I hope you're starting to see how does this product manager role have a real intensity of responsibilities. So the second one is deep knowledge of the customer and product. This is very important because a product manager needs to understand customer issues, their pains, their desires, how they think, and for the business products. So it's not only for the business products, it's even how they think and feel about other competitor products. And you need to even understand how they work and how they decide to buy, what are the factors they take into consideration. things like that. So you need to have knowledge of the qualitative and quantitative aspects of it. So when you look at the qualitative aspects, it's all about what customers feel, desire, what are their pains, and stuff like that. When you look at the qualitative aspect or the side of things, it's more about understanding the amount of customers thinking or feeling away, things like that. So it's very important. Why you need to understand this is because product managers make decisions practically every day and every maybe probably an hour or so. So in order to make decisions, there should be undebatable knowledge that they should be having in order to make those decisions. So they need to understand their customers and products well to take these decisions. So this is the second responsibility. And the third one is they really need to have deep knowledge of data. So in this, in current trends, where data has become like, so popular and data can give you so much of stories and insights, it's very important that a product manager should be able to crunch down this data and make that really meaningful. So it's important, and it goes without saying that product managers need to start getting comfortable with data, and they need to crunch that data about the customers and products and how they are interacting with products. Why do they have to do that? Again, they need to make decisions every day, and some decisions are data driven as well. So in order to take those decisions, you need to understand the data that's coming in. So practically every day you would see product managers kind of, sitting down, analyzing their data, what's happening in the past maybe 24 hours, things like that, and they are making decisions. So it's very important that product managers become comfortable with data. Of course, there are data analysts there analyzing and understanding your data and giving you insights, but there's nothing really more powerful when you, as a product manager, sit down and analyze that data and derive insights from it. So that's another responsibility that businesses look for. And the fourth one is deep knowledge of your business. So there's a deep understanding that is required from the product manager end of the business and how it works and the role your product plays in your business. So every product that's being built by a business is just not random, and it's not just some brainchild of someone, and it just didn't happen randomly. There is a reason that a business is investing in a particular product and developing that product. Okay, there's a lot of alignment and association to the business and the product. So this can be a really tougher part in understanding the business landscape and the application landscape and how does this really align with. But that's something really product managers need to understand, because businesses are getting revenue from products, and the product needs to be in going in the right direction. It needs to hit the right market, and it needs to get the right revenue coming back. So it's very important that you understand, okay, and work closely with stakeholders and understand their constraints, the constraints they work in, and then align your product with the business. Okay, so it's very important that you don't go off track, your product's not going off track, and it's not aligned with the ultimate business vision or goal, things like that. Always there needs to be an alignment. So to have that alignment, managers need to have a deep knowledge of the business, and how that happens is interacting with stakeholders and the right people. And the last one is deep knowledge of your market and industry. So every product would kind of target a particular market and an industry. So it's important for product managers to have knowledge of not only competitors but also key trends in the technology, customer behaviors, and expectations, following relevant industry analysts, understanding the role of social media for the market and for customers. So, all this is really important. You just don't go and think, oh, these are my competitors, and you just don't do a parity check with the competitors' features and your product's features. It's not a feature level, competition. Imagine that you have the same features in your product, The competitors also have the same features in their product, and they are around for like many years. They have a lot of customer base, and so if you see, how are you going to transition or attract those loyal customers to adopt your product? So there needs to be a lot of advantages over your product, okay? Or your product should be really advantageous for customers to switch over. So how do you know all this? It's only by understanding customers behaviors, expectations, following the relevant industry analysts, and all these ways as you get to understand these different things. And also it's very important that you understand the direction markets and industries are taking, okay? So there should be a deep understanding of your business, how it works, and the role your product plays when it comes to the market aspects. And also you need to look out for and be aware of technology trends in the industry and see how the product can be powered up to fit in. For example, in recent trends, there are a lot of products adopting AI, machine learning, NLP, stuff like that. So there's a different whole new path businesses are taking to power up their products and gain more adoption. So if you do not have idea of where the market and where the industry is heading forward to, your product is going to be somewhere behind, because everyone is understanding this and everyone is kind of powering up their products. So one day that's going to be more advantages over your product. So it's important you understand all these trends and see how your product fits into that, and kind of continuously goes with the pace more than lagging behind, okay, which would help indirectly your product in still staying in that market. So for that you need to understand the market and the industry. So these are some, it might look like really just few things, but it's really a huge lot of responsibility. Not only looking at, so usually I was under the understanding, so product manager just the customer and product, but there's a lot of decision making involved and a lot of knowledge that you need to have. Business, the market, the industry, deciding what gets into it. So if the product is really successful, it's okay. Everyone praises everyone. But if something goes wrong with the product, it's a failure. Indirectly, it's the product manager is responsible, because they didn't decide, they were not able to figure out how the product is going to, be a success, and how it's going to gain a fit. All that was not rightly assessed. So things like that would come up. So it's a total whole new, a ball game for product managers. So I hope you got some information on the responsibilities of product managers. So these were not my own kind of things. As I said, it was from the book that I read from Marty Kagan, and these were the recommendations and things that Marty Kagan had said. So all credits goes to Marty Kagan, and I hope that you got some information in this video. And if you like this, please do give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to this channel and do share your feedbacks. Thank you.